be alive, George.
Oh, thank you. Welcome to the Arsenal Women Chat Show. Hope we're all doing well on this Monday evening. I just want to say well done to Ravi last week. He can't always be as good as me, but he definitely smashed that. So yeah, well done, mate. We're like the Arsenal women's team actually. We're a bit of a rebuild going on. We had Amanda last week. We've got a new person today. So we're going to chat about the Arsenal Man City game on Sunday, which was another good result. We have to change that. We're going to have to change what these podcasts are about because we can't be as negative as we normally have for the last couple of weeks. So yeah, I'm going to introduce you to my guest first. Laura, how are you, mate?
I'm doing good, buddy. So there was a bit of commotion there, obviously. Dogs doing my head in, but yeah, I'm all good, thank you. I'm getting a bit tired now with all this travelling back and forth from Glasgow to London. So a wee bit of a break now between now and obviously the Spurs game, and that's when we'll be back down. So yeah, I'm all right. Yourself?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. All jokes aside, I actually think my next game could be Spurs.
Really? Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I can't get to Brighton next week or this week, whenever it is, because of trains. Potentially can get to Bristol. I think I can do Leuven at home actually, but I know I'm definitely at Spurs. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Oh, that's good then.
British transport is amazing. But yeah, Paul, how are you doing?
Yeah, all good, all good. Yeah, it's good to have a show after show of positivity.
Yeah. I was told there was a picture of you somewhere with a certain Karen Kearney in the background. Oh,
yes, in the Tolly.
So look at old Paul. Can't get any better than Strictly, can you? So you know what I mean.
And I also made it onto the front page of the programme from yesterday.
See what happens when you stick with us, mate.
See, that's what happens when you know a celebrity. They get put on the programmes and stuff, you know.
Who needs Logan Paul? We've got Paul Townsend. Probably less irritating than Logan Paul. So yeah, and then talking about superstars, Ravi, how you doing, mate?
All good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I was doing all right in the 85th minute at Anfield, and then realised Alisson was a prat. But there you go. There's less said about that. But we're still 6 points, 6 points clear. So, and making his debut, Mike. How are you doing, mate? Good to have you on.
Yeah, really good. Thank you. Good weekend. Good result. So yeah, all good. Thank you.
Yeah,
good to be on.
Yeah, great to have you on as well. Yeah, we'll just say hello to people in the chat. Who's in the chat, Laura?
Let me go back. There's a few people actually in tonight. That's quite a busy
I know
one.
Catherine needs help, but I think she means hello.
Helps. But she said hello. I think she's just letting us know that she's here. Dorian's in as well.
Hey, Dorian.
Hello, Dorian. James is in the comments, but I know for a fact he's not watching. That's terrible. That is really bad. So it is. Kate Lord is in. Hi,
Hey,
Kate. Kev's in.
Hey, Kev.
Reese is in. And I must be saying his name right in the other times that he's been in, because he hasn't still corrected me on his name, but Hadchad is in. So
yeah, nice to see you in. Thanks for the love on the watch-along yesterday as well, mate. I appreciate that. We all know I'm better than Ryan.
And all the way from Australia, Mark's in. Hello, Mark. And obviously you've said about the blogs. Thank you very much for your support on that, Mark. I really appreciate that. There is one going out from the City game. I'm just currently in the middle of editing that. That can either be out tonight or tomorrow if anybody wants to watch that.
Well, make sure you subscribe to them because they're really, really good as well. Even though that one won't be as good because I weren't on it, but they are still really, really good.
Yeah, score prediction the same this week, George. Near the well. Score prediction.
But I even had the disability team saying, "Oh, is everything all right?" Because I wasn't there. So yeah,
it's unlikely. The better looking Wells brothers in the house, Chris. I hope you're well as well. And then Darren Happy birthday, Darren. Of course, we
Yeah.
had, and it's Darren's birthday, everybody.
Yeah, happy 70th to Darren. So yeah, just want to say that I hope you've had a good day, mate. What you're doing on your birthday is a bit to be desired if you read the WhatsApp groups, but we'll leave that as a ... to be continued. Darren can have his right of reply. And Chris, hope you're well, mate. Thanks for the support as well. All right, let's get on with the show instead of doing like introductions for the next 2 hours. Obviously, Ravi, going into the Man City game, I think if we're all being realistic, we probably we weren't expecting much. When you saw the lineup, did that kind of throw you? Because it threw me. I'm not gonna lie, it threw me.
It did throw me a little bit. Like I was trying to sort of like do the mental math of like who is playing where, and then as soon as I heard some rumblings of Smith playing at number 9, I was like, oh, okay, maybe that could work. But I think it threw so many people off that the entire Man City squad were just a bit like, I don't know what to do. And that first half, we kind of took advantage of the fact that like they just weren't prepared for that game plan at all. But yeah, like I've heard a few people mention the whole, what if we play Olivia Smith at number 9? And I just didn't think Renee would actually do it. But what a way to introduce it, and what a result to get out of it.
Yeah, I thought that was recreating Anfield '89 at one stage. Just Smith. No, that I was, because I think obviously Mike obviously he was at the game, but looking from the WhatsApp group, it was like BBC text commentary in the WhatsApp group. But some of us thought it was probably going to be Beth playing at 10, didn't we? But what was your thoughts going into that? I know you've mentioned about Smith, so we have to give credit to you.
Yeah, it's one of those. I've been wanting her to play number 9 for a few weeks now. And when I saw the starting lineup, I was thinking, well, actually, this could be the game that they do it. I thought originally when I saw the team sheet, I was thinking, no, she can't be doing it. She can't trial it against Man City. But actually, I think it really worked because it just caught everybody out. And I think the reason I've been wanting them to try it is just because of her pace. She can, leave defenders standing. She can leave fullback standing when she's on the wing. And I just thought, if you've got Russo playing behind and Mario and Kim Little playing those balls in, it needed to be trialled at some point, and thankfully it worked. So
yeah, James said City forgot their shooting boots. They had one shot, mate. One shot. I've had more in Lisbon. So, are they all that City? I can say that. That's fine. Paul, we'll go carry on with Livy Smith. Obviously, we saw her playing through the middle. Just doing this a little bit different than we normally do it. Her pace, like City's defense, couldn't keep with that, could they? Like, I think she was that fast. Casper, I was still at Euston waiting for her train.
Yeah, like it's just been said, I don't think they prepared for her playing in that position. So those defenders weren't prepared for that type of pace coming down the middle. They were probably expecting it down the wing. And I think this was the ideal game to trial this in, because now it's been done once, teams are going to look at the lineup and think, oh, if this is how they could line up, we could have Smith down the middle. This is what we got to prepare for. Whereas, if we'd have done that, against a lesser team, like Chelsea, then Man City would know that it's possible. So going out there against, the league leaders to do it was absolutely perfect. And it just goes to show it does work. So maybe what I like about it is it gives us more options. If we're partway through a game, instead of taking Smith off to bring Chloe on or someone like that, or Caitlin, which seems to be the go-to sub in previous games, then it might be possible to move Smith off the wing into the centre and make a different sub. So we're going to be less predictable than we have been over the last few months.
Yeah, cool. Darren, I can always rely on you to be positive. But that's what happens when I'm not there. Sorry, apologies. Laura, obviously, I know you've mentioned about Smith. Do we think that's going to become a regular option for us? What part of that are you sitting with? Do you want to see that more as a regular option? Because it was nice to watching a number 9. Just this one's just for Darren to see if I get one. It was really nice to see a number 9 staying on side.
Yeah, I don't want us to overuse it. I personally want us to use it in terms of, i.e., Chelsea's, Man City's, Man U's, the biggest teams that possibly we know. Like in terms of like Man U, I would have liked to have seen that position for Olivia Smith used earlier because I think that would have possibly been somebody that would have been able to break down Man U. It just, unfortunately, it's come a bit late in the season for us. But as Kevin says, Renee did hint at it, and as I said, it just came a little bit too late in the season for me. But I genuinely don't want us to overuse it. I want us to simply have teams thinking, where are they going to place her now? I want teams to be unprepared while starting that game and thinking, where is Olivia Smith going to start and where in that pitch is she going to be? Because I think, as we've seen on Sunday, obviously, I was just about to say that what Ravi was saying Saturday, but we were obviously playing on the Sunday. But as we've seen on Sunday, it completely threw Man City off. They weren't prepared for it. They just didn't know how to obviously change the tactic to cope with her. I think she just basically tore Rebecca Canat apart. She made...
Yeah, but we can't get that in the sun, Laura, unfortunately.
Sorry?
We can't get that name in the sun.
No, we can't. But she genuinely did. She made Canat look like an amateur. I watched, obviously, the highlights back because the full game's obviously still not out anywhere at the moment. I don't understand why that is. And personally, I think she sat Man City's goalkeeper down way too early because she didn't expect what Olivia Smith was going to do with that ball either. Because as we know what Olivia Smith can do with a ball at her feet and she's close at goal, she's either going to trip that ball over you and score. She's going to take the ball round because she's confident with the ball at her feet. And she's going to do basically the usual Arsenal goal, take it round the goalkeeper, Kai Havertz, etc. And she's going to shoot that way. So I think in terms of Olivia Smith, I just don't want us to overuse that position. Let's keep that as a let's keep teams guessing on what we're going to do there.
Yeah, Ravi, I'll come to you on that point. I think it's quite interesting. I'm kind of in the other boat with that because we've seen when you've got a centre forward who's got pace and finishes as ruthless as Livy Smith done, surely that kind of takes the option of going forward. If you're comparing it to, say, obviously Stina, because she's in that position, if Stina saw that, wouldn't you be concerned? Because I think Livy Smith she's only young and got that position sewn up for me.
Like I do see where you're coming from. I go on the side of like we should be using this when needed, as opposed to this should be a primary option for us. Like the more that you use it, the bigger the sample size is for teams to figure out how to like go against it. And I do think Olivia Smith is so good at like cutting in from the wings, taking a shot from distance, challenging the keeper, winning a corner, or like someone to get a rebound. And like when you do have like elite level poachers that like Blackstenius is, or even like Beth Mead, a great poacher as well in the box. When you do have those options around you, you can pick up quite a few goals. And like this game worked really well for Liv Smith on the basis that there was so much space behind that City back line that she could run into, and City centre backs are not quick. And if we didn't play a quick forward, then there's time for recovery and all that. And we saw this with one great pass, you cut out the entire defense. And like, we can't really play that against so many teams in the league because they sit back so much against us, and like there isn't that space to run in behind. Like she's a good finisher, like, and there is a lot that she can improve on as well as she gets older. But I think this was a perfect game to try it out, in a sense of she will have that space and she does have that technical ability, but as she gets older, she'll be able to find that space against lower and deeper blocks.
Yeah. Do you not think it though? If you're having Olivia Smith in that position, she can obviously go back onto the wing if you bring subs on where Stina can't.
I do agree, yeah, and I think what I would have liked to see a bit more throughout the game is when they started marshalling her a bit more, if she drifted out wide and then Mead could come in centrally, same with Caitlin Ford. Like, we have that front four that we had of Russo, Smith, Mead and Ford. All of them can play all four positions. They can chop and change as much as they could have wanted to, and that would have completely thrown the City defense. And I like that fluidity in there. With Blackstenius, you do get that sort of like, she is the focal point of attack. She is that last runner that will try and get in behind that defense time and time again. But yeah, I do like the sort of like option to switch positions, but I just don't think it was used in this game particularly.
No.
What I did notice on Sunday was in terms of when Frida and Stina are on the pitch, I don't know if anyone else noticed it. In terms of when they're on the pitch, when the opposition's goalkeeper has the ball at their feet and they've got it in the box and they've got all the time in the world, Frida and Stina, and especially Alessia Russo, tend to sit off it so much. As whether on Sunday, Olivia Smith was right up, Alessia was right up. Like, everybody was pushing up and obviously putting their back line and a goalkeeper under pressure, which I genuinely haven't seen Arsenal do this season, and it's something I keep screaming about. Let's put the goalkeeper under pressure. And Olivia Smith was doing it perfectly on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, but Frida's player of the tournament, Laura, so you've got to remember that.
Yeah, don't let's not talk about Frida. Thanks very much. Do not. I'll stop.
So, Paul, just coming back to you, obviously, we'll move on. Obviously, Olivia Smith got the goal, which was a good finish. Great pass by Mariona as well. Kind of coming on to Mariona, how did you think she played? Because what I really liked to see was that she was all over the place. Like, she was everywhere. Like, she wasn't just sitting back deep. She was going forward. She was doing what we've wanted Mariona to do, and that was even planning that so-called 8 role, if that's how you want to describe it. What was your views on Mario?
Yeah, I mean, she had a great game. She seemed to have the freedom to move about a bit more. It was less sort of regimented that this is what you will do, and when you get here, you'll pass the ball sidewards or wherever. So yeah, she seemed to play with a lot more freedom, and obviously that run to then release Smith for the goal was sort of perfect timing for that. And then she was even tracking back and getting in those dodgy tackles as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was a great performance really from pretty much everybody that was on the pitch yesterday, I think.
Apart from someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't name her. Do not name her.
You make it sound like she's like Lord Voldemort's daughter or something.
Catherine's wrote, we don't talk about Frida.
Yeah, that's fine. Mike, obviously, we saw Leah Williamson come back briefly, like towards the end. We'll talk about her later, but someone I don't think we've really spoke about that much on here is Lotta. How do you think she done on Sunday? I think, to me, Lotta's the sort of player, when she plays, say, like 6-7 games in a row, you start to see the best coming out of her.
Yeah, fully agree. And I think we're seeing that now. Even in the game against Corinthians, she was solid. I thought Sunday against Man City, she was solid. Put in some really good tackles that stopped a lot of play. I think she kind of goes under the limelight a little bit, and not many people mention her, but she was nearly one of the players of the game for me, both on Sunday and the game before. So I think she's hit a real good run of form, which is great. It gives us competition. Obviously, Leah's back, and she'll probably come into that starting lineup soon. But I'd like to see Lotta stay in that centre half position because she's played really well.
Yeah, I think obviously with the tournament coming up as well, obviously Steph Catley's going to go, isn't she? So having Lotta in form, you're going to probably have Leah and Lotta. So that's it'd be nice for Leah to get a few minutes plus with Lotta being in form. So as long as you don't I know there's an international break, so let's move on straight away from that because we know what happens when international breaks happen. Laura, obviously, we'll briefly talk about Kim Little because I know you want to just touch on talking about Kim. It was another game where she was absolutely world class, wasn't it? I think she's playing actually like she's in her prime, like probably mid-20s. Not saying mid-30s are old, by the way. Just putting that out there. But if you listen to some of our fan base, it's time to go apparently, because when you get into mid-30s. But another time, obviously City needed a Coffey break, so they brought on a Coffey. But then we still had Kim Little. What was your views on the comparison between them two? Because obviously that's what it was going to be, wasn't it?
Yeah, I put out a tweet just after the game because I know that, as you say, George, there's many people on X that like to bring Kimmy Little down. I know, obviously, season
they had the machine gun out. You know what I mean?
They were putting her down like they would put her
Yeah,
down.
that was.
Yeah.
I think no names, Paul. No, or nothing. no.
That's why I was just about to say. I think last season on the podcast we were kind of putting her down, but hey ho. One of the ones, the tweet I put out was: does anybody who said that Kimmy Little was washed want to step up? And not one person has stepped up, because simply, as I say, I think Kimmy Little this season has simply shut a lot of Arsenal fans up just by simply performing on the pitch. She's not obviously one that's on social media or anything that she would like to come on and defend herself. But yeah, I thought Kimmy Little's performance on Sunday was spectacular. She schooled Sam Coffey in that midfield. There was times where the older of them two, i.e. Kimmy Little, would outpace Sam Coffey and leave her for dead in the middle of the pitch, wondering where Kimmy Little went. And for me, that just kind of shows, was Sam Coffey ever going to be good enough to come to Arsenal? I know there'll be a lot of people upset by that, but I'm looking at half of these players that we do not sign, i.e. Gurma, Coffey, and I'm thinking, thank God, is there something Claire Wheatley is seeing that we aren't? And they bring her down to absolute nothing. And I'm just like, is Claire Wheatley actually a mastermind and looking at these players and going, no, you just aren't going to fit at Arsenal, but simply because your pace isn't there, because we've got Kimmy Little that we're just going to clone and keep her at whatever age she's at and use her for season after season until we run her into the ground. But I thought not just Kimmy Little in terms of the midfield, but I just thought our midfield yesterday outperformed Man City's midfield. And considering most people are like Man City's front line and midfield are supposed to be terrifying, and I don't think they terrified our team at all yesterday.
Yeah. Just going back, Reese has said about could we see Olivia Smith maybe in cup competitions when teams are pushing for like a goal and like on the counter attack? I think they're the options that we're quite blessed, Reese, that we can have now. Like we said, like Smith can do that, or if you're bringing on another sub, obviously Olivia Smith can go onto the wing as well. Catherine said the proper issue shows that Kim is getting a couple of injuries. We need a backup. Yeah, we do need a backup, but it's Kim Little. Like, she gets injured and she comes back 10 times better. So
me and Darren were talking about this obviously during the game yesterday, and and there was something Kimmy Little did, and that was one thing Darren says to me was, "How do we ever replace her? We're going to find it so bloody hard to replace Kimmy Little, simply because not even just what she does on the pitch, but as someone who's very quiet, she's still got a large presence about Arsenal, and
yeah,
to me that's going to be something that's going to be missing from the dressing room when, of course, when Kimmy steps out of the team. We don't know if obviously Kimmy's going to stay around at Arsenal or whatever in terms of coaching or whatever, but it's just going to be a large presence missing. And yeah, I think I've said it time and time again, she's certainly got most people eating the words this season.
yeah, it's not happening. She's never leaving, ever. She's doing,
I don't think Arsenal fans would allow her to leave.
no, I wouldn't. No, it's not happening. I'll just buy like I'll buy like 25 canes and then line them all up in like a line. So it's like the Home Alone sketch, so that she's not allowed to go anywhere. Ravi, coming to you. Obviously, we saw Kim talking about Kim. Obviously, how great she was. Obviously, she made a challenge on good old Viviana Miedema. Nice of her to visit the Emirates yesterday. What was your thoughts, obviously, on Kim and just generally like that midfield battle? Because I think that midfield kind of outshone Man City's, didn't they? Especially with them having Coffey, I say her name, Asakawa, and then obviously old Clinton come on for like a 30-second cameo. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think Man City set up for this game particularly well. They effectively came in with a 4-2-4, and their front line is scary. Like, let's not get it twisted. Like, that is a serious front line that they had. The issue for them was there was such a big gap between their central midfielders and their front line that it basically gave Kim Little and Mariona basically the freedom of the city to just do whatever they wanted in there. Like, and it's all well and good giving two central midfielders as much space as you want, but when those two central midfielders are Kim Little and Mariona Caldente, you're asking for trouble. Like, it's not. It just didn't seem like a good plan from them, and yeah, like that front line of theirs just did not get any service. Like they could not break. Well, it's not even about breaking through us. They just couldn't even get anywhere near us. And I just think it was like it made Coffey look worse than she actually is. I don't think she's necessarily a terrible player, but like she's not the player that she used to be either. And I just think, yeah, she had a torrid time out there. But this just goes to show that Kim Little, if she really wanted to, could go full on martyr and play until she's about 75 and still be the best player on that pitch. Like I don't know what she has for breakfast, but Jesus Christ, like get me some of that, because like that will keep me going.
we have to ask Darren, because I think he's the same age as 75. So Darren, what do you have for breakfast?
But honestly, like it's just one of those things where like the more I see Kim Little play, the more I think, do you know what? Just give her another year extension. Just keep it going. Like she is genuinely phenomenal. And I was listening to the Arsenal women's Arsecast, and they basically said like Kim Little is the best player that didn't get recognition for it, and like yeah, like she is she's so good. Like she's always been my favorite player to watch ever since I started following the women's team, and like she just somehow just keeps getting better and better with age. Like it's incredible.
Like a fine wine.
Yeah,
I think the best decision Kimmy Little ever made was dropping out the Scottish national team. I personally, obviously being Scottish and watching that national team at the moment, it's just
I didn't know
abysmal.
you were Scottish, Laura. What gave that away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You realise that I'm
Yeah.
in England that much. I'm surprised I haven't accumulated an English accent.
Yeah.
But
You end
I
up with a
personally
posh
do-
accent soon.
What?
You end up with a posh accent soon.
Yeah,
Yes.
Peterborough. But I personally think the best decision Kimmy Little ever did make was dropping out the national team. I don't think if Kimmy Little was still at the national team, it would have benefited, or especially with where Scotland sit. They're not a very, and I would admit this as obviously a Scottish person, but they're not a very good national team at the moment. They're not a jointed team, and I think it's just the best decision she's ever made for her career.
Yeah, no, I probably agree. Like, obviously, when you see players step away from the international scene as well, it normally lasts. It at their club career can last a bit longer, can't it? So,
Yeah.
have we got any comments, Laura?
Yeah, we've
I
got quite
know. I
a
know
few.
Darren told me to fuck off, so I've already seen that. So
Yeah.
you couldn't even say please, Darren. Where's your manners?
Terrible, Darren. Catherine asked, so when we played Chelsea, they did not really have a midfield. It was very disjointed. Do you think City thought they could get away with a disjointed midfield?
I didn't think that was that. Well, they did. Who was in midfield? They had Asakawa.
Sam Coffey.
and Miedema.
Yeah,
It ain't a bad midfield, is it? Like come on. I just think we out-muscled them and out-fought them in all those positions. Like, I know their manager said, as soon as they saw Stina wasn't starting, they knew Olivia Smith was. Bullshit, mate. Bullshit. Like, if you knew that and still set up like that, then that's more on you, mate. Like, I'm not buying that. I just think the midfielder we played was obviously Russo was in the 10, wasn't she again? I just think that we out-battled them, really. I don't think that was a disjointed midfield. They weren't much different than what they played against Chelsea, was it?
No, I think that was the same midfield that started against Sam
I
Coffey.
don't think that's fair on... And I think if you say make it that they're disjointed, I think that takes a lot of the credit away from Arsenal, if I'm honest. Because it makes it sound like it's a bit excuses for City. I know earlier it was said Kadina, could she be replacing Kim in that position? I think Kadina's off in the summer, personally. But it'd be good to get Mark's views on Kyra, actually, because if you're still watching Mark, just because where she's not playing, I know she's had the tragic news of her mum, but do you think she's just staying at Arsenal until she goes away for the tournament, or do you think there's more to that? But yeah.
Yeah, obviously Ryan's in as well. Hello, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
He said what I loved at full time yesterday when they was about to do the team huddle. Kim politely asked the Sky, I'm assuming he's meaning Sky Sports camera guy to leave, and they refused, and Leah basically told him to F off. I'm not swearing tonight, guys. I've been told off by my dad for my swearing.
Oh,
So
that's good.
Yeah, I thought that was quite funny actually as well.
We have to do a show and get Laura's dad on.
Yeah, we could. He would be awesome. Me. Reese also said Fishlocks. Jess Fishlocks says she feels that she's got better in her 30s as she understands and reads the game better than she did in her 20s.
Yeah. But that's not, obviously when you see some players as they get older, like you got to think 28 to 32 is normally the prime years for a footballer anyway. But then you look at some of the players who, when they're playing into their mid-30s, they have so much control and can read the game a lot better. So I think like you can compare it to other like players and stuff, but it's always the same answer, isn't it? Mike, I'm gonna come to you. We're gonna do something a little bit different. Obviously, a certain Viviana Miedema came back to the Emirates. I thought you said who. Then that's what's going to laugh. And then, so kind of, how do you think her performance was? Obviously, she did get a goal disallowed when she thought she was doing gladiators against Katie McCabe. But yeah, what was your thoughts on Miedema? I'll be honest, I didn't think it was one of her best games, to be honest.
She showed flashes of decent play. Not as good as previously. She held the ball up well, played quite a few balls through, but I think we contained her very well. Our midfield was just on fire. Bit of a shame that her girlfriend headbutted her. She nearly came off the pitch. I think it was welcome back to the Emirates. But yeah, I think we controlled it. I think we controlled her quite well because she's been playing very well, and that was a worry for me. So I think our midfield controlled her very well. One person, and you might mention it later, so apologies if I'm jumping on, was I thought Fox had an amazing game against Hemp. Hemp's one of the quick players in the WSL, and I think she just completely played her off the park.
Yeah, I was a bit worried when I saw that foul on Hemp. I'm not going to lie. I thought we got away with one there massively. But what I found interesting, just back to you, Mike, as well. Obviously, when Katie McCabe went off, because I actually thought she had a good game. So, in case people think I'm not going to praise Katie McCabe, it doesn't mean that I think she should get a 5-year deal, by the way. But what I found interesting is that Holmberg come on in her position. Could you see that being something that Renee looks to more if McCabe leaves?
Yeah, I think it was good to try it as well because obviously she's come on the right-hand side of the pitch the last few games, and that left-back position behind being a bit injured is a little bit worrying at the moment. So it was good to see her in that position, and I think she did it. She did it pretty well. We've got a lot of fixtures coming up, so I think she can be rotated, kind of in and out of that left and right-back position, and it'll depend on what we do in the summer. Apologies, my dog's wagging its tail in the background.
That's right. It's not the first dog we've had on the show, so welcome. Sometimes we have more dogs on the show than the people. Sometimes. Paul, obviously, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, what did you think when she came on? Do you think?
Yeah, I really like Samira Holmberg. To be honest, I think attacking wise, she offers a lot. I think she's quite an exciting fullback as well, and obviously I know she's got age on her side. I was pleasantly surprised that Renee put her at left back because now let's be honest, it looks like Katie McCabe is going to leave. Sorry for upsetting people, but that means we've still got Holmberg, we've still got Fox. Looks like we're going for the Barcelona fullback, who I'm not. Ravi, how do we say that name?
Battier.
Yeah, that's it. Not ours. Not how my voiceover says it is Battle. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, I was quite happy with it. It was nice to see her come on and kind of be in that position. Yeah, it was good.
With her crossing ability, do you reckon you'll ever see her in midfield?
Maybe as she gets a bit older. I don't think anytime soon, like next 2-3 years, but there's nothing to say that there's nothing to even say you couldn't see her playing on like one of the wings, like right or left wing at one stage. Like if they want to like push for a goal. Let's be honest. Sorry, Mark. I think she can offer more attacking element than Caitlin Ford. So, yeah. So I think. Yeah, I think she's got so much talent that she'll be able to play in more than one position, which Renee seems to be liking those players that does that. I don't know where she would have got that from at Arsenal. Not at all. She wouldn't have got that from Arteta at all. But like you're seeing Smith playing through the middle and she can play on the wing. Beth can do the same. Russo's looking like she can do the same now. And I think Holmberg will probably do the same. And if you really needed to, Fox could as well. Laura, what's your kind of thoughts on Holmberg in that left back role?
Yeah, For me, Smila's a very interesting prospect for Arsenal. I think obviously having her a full season next season, we could probably see the best of her. We are seeing glimpses of what she can do at the moment with her crossing ability. I think that's something that's got us all really excited at Arsenal, that she can obviously get a good ball, and Arsenal just need to learn how to get someone on the end of those balls coming in. Obviously, in terms of rumours and things that's going around with Katie leaving, i.e. Badgie or Battle or whatever we want to call her, coming in, I think next season our back line is going to be terrifying in terms of who we have. You think, if you're a team looking at our team next season and we do have Badgie, then you're not going to want to come up against Emily Fox or Smila Holmberg or Ona Badgie or Taylor Hines, simply because the four of them are just solid. But are coming on yesterday in Katie's position, I think Arsenal are starting to make a statement towards Katie in terms of obviously things that's apparently went on in the background and things like that. Don't really know what's went on, but I think the club have basically just says to Katie, off you go. You can go at the end of the season. Don't get me wrong, I think we maybe should have sold Katie this season if that's the case, that we should have maybe got some money for her, because she is a player. Katie for me is still a player that we could have got money for, but she just needs to drop the attitude and simply play a game and do what she's got to do. But yeah. I'm really excited to see what more Smila can provide for us, and I'd like to see her get a little bit more game time rather than bringing her on 70 minutes on the 70-minute mark. And you know what it's like. Players don't really settle into a game until they've been on like 15, 20 minutes, and I still don't think we're seeing the full potential of her yet.
Yeah. Paul, coming to you just before we move on from the City game. Mark has said about Kyra, about where she's not been playing, that maybe she's not in the right frame of mind, and could she be going back to Australia on a loan to be near her mum? Do you think, one, obviously Arsenal would be across obviously how her mental health and how she's doing, wouldn't they? But could you see that potentially being a situation that happened? Because at the end of the day, let's all be honest, like at the end of the day, football's football, whereas your family is more important. So when it comes to that sort of situation, do you think that is something that Arsenal would at least consider?
I mean, obviously, like you've just said, yeah, family and health comes before football, and Arsenal will look after her, and Arsenal will do, work with her and her family and do whatever's best for all parties involved. But if she was to move back on a loan spell to Australia, or even if there was some deal done whereby she'd go to Australia, be with her family, but still just train with a club over there, not necessarily play, but keep up the sort of the routine, the training routine that she's in. I think that Arsenal are a club that would look into every option and work out with Kyra what's best for her, and they'd work with her to achieve that.
Yeah, so Mark said that her mum's meant to only not like have a few months left, so you would think, Paul, obviously the Arsenal will be in constant chat with Kyra about that. So maybe, like, when you compare it to everyone's like, oh, why is she not playing and all that, when you look at the bigger picture, there's probably more important things.
Yeah, I think that the main difference here, the big thing here, is the distance. I mean, it's not as if she could play a game for us and then go and see her family after the game. Even if they were based, France, Spain, Germany, somewhere like that. it's only a quick hop on a plane or train, a couple of hours. We're talking this is the other side of the world, so it's not the sort of thing she could play yesterday for argument's sake, go back, see her family, and be back in training ready for the game on Wednesday. It's just not going to happen. But if her head's not quite in the right place to play football for Arsenal, then the club will support her, and we as a fan base obviously support her as well. And we wish her all the best.
Yeah, no, echo that. Just before we finish as well, Ravi, obviously we saw Leah Williamson come back on. It's good to see her back on the pitch, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's a bit busy at the end, wasn't she?
Yeah, no, it was really good to see her back. And I think, I've got a little bit of sympathy for Wubben Moy here because she's played brilliantly the last few games especially, and you just know that Williamson's just going to walk into that place again, and fine, she deserves it, and we're a much better team with Williamson in there, and that's not taking anything away from Wubben Moy. Williamson is possibly, in terms of a ball playing central defender, is there anyone better in the women's game than Lee Williamson? Probably not. And I've always maintained I'd like to see a partnership of Wubben Moy and Williamson long term. There is that preference of playing Catley, but Williamson, when fully fit, she will start every single minute of every single game. So I just think unless Renee is willing to drop Catley in order for someone like Wubben Moy to play more games, then we're going to be having this conversation of Williamson gets injured because she's not 100% when she came back. Wubben Moy comes in, plays really, really well. By the time that Williamson comes back, and it almost feels like a little bit of a cycle, but it is great to have her back, especially with this final stretch of the next 3-4 months. It's the right time for her to be back and hopefully fully fit.
So it'd be interesting, obviously, with the cup. We will see Leah and Lotta, won't we?
Yeah.
For a few games, so we ain't really gonna have a choice but to see that. So it'd be interesting to see how they both do. Sorry, Laura, was you gonna say something?
Yeah, for me personally, I don't just think it's Lotta Wubben Moy that's hard to drop. I think Steph Catley's been phenomenal the last few games as well, and I think the two of them are making it very, very hard for Renee at the moment to decide who is going to be a backline going forward. And I think the thing is, for me, a lot of people forget about Steph. They don't. She's been there obviously since the start of last season, and she's just kind of dropped into the background, and no one's really focused on Steph's performance. And I specifically think since Lotta and Steph have been playing together, I think their communication in that back line has been spectacular. The last few games, as I said, I think the two of them have worked really, really well, and it's making it hard to decide who do we put in. And personally, I don't want Leah being rushed back simply because it was so quick from the last time she obviously came back to then getting that injury again. I would rather phase Leah back than obviously rush her back. We know for a fact that she's going to get called up to this England camp, and she's going to be run off her feet. Of course, simply being the captain there, but we all know that Serena's going to trust in Leah more than anybody else. So I don't want Renee to rush Leah back into the Arsenal team.
Yeah, no, agreeing. I think obviously we've got Leuven on Wednesday, so that could be because I think Steph Catley's still available for that, isn't she? So,
I think they're all available right up until the Bristol game.
Okay, so
game will be the last game, and then they're away.
So I mean, so then obviously after that you can start in then a couple of games. You can start playing Leah a bit more, can't you?
Yeah, maybe start her at Leuven and give Steph the break, and let's start obviously we obviously need to get Leah and Lotter teaming up before Steph goes away. Simply because that hasn't been something that's been utilised lately. So the communication between them isn't going to be as good as Steph and Lotter's is.
Yeah. James has said same with the G. Oh no. Same with the GK position. I'm could be in a minority here. But yeah, I think we saw the different levels in Daphne and Borba personally. That's probably the easiest game that she's had, Daphne. Yeah, we'll go on to Leuven. So, Mike, obviously, we've been to Leuven before, and we was kind of convincing the time before. Are you expecting some of the same, really, or like we should be able to put them to the sword, really, shouldn't we?
You'd hope so. I think so. But we only played them just before Christmas. They know how we play. They know how we set out. So they'll be a little bit more tactically aware of us. But I think the run of games that we're on at the moment, hopefully we've got enough to beat them. You know, we're very strong at the back. Kim and Mario, I think, had their best game in midfield together this season on Sunday. I just thought they clicked really well. And most of our forwards are back and fit, so we can chop and change them around a bit like what Ravi and Laura were saying earlier. You know, don't have Smith in that number 9, but every one of those players can now play in all of those 4 positions, and we can just keep defenders and coaches on their toes by just switching that front 4 around.
Yeah, I think you might even see Ford get a goal this week. That's how positive I am. Paul.
It'd be a shame not to be there because it was quite good being there. But
I always thought you were funny, George. I always thought you were funny.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a comedy value, Laura. Paul, obviously, like what we just said, when we were there just before Christmas, we kind of got the job done. Would you be expecting a similar lineup to what we've seen, or would you like to see someone like a Palova start?
I mean, we've got a nice run of games now. We've got Leuven back to back. We got Brighton and Bristol. So I think over the 4 games before we go into the next international break, there's definitely sort of options there at each game to make a few changes so that we're not tiring out the same, 11 players week in, week out. So, I'd like them to get the job done this week, and like I said, the confidence that team has got at the moment, after the Chelsea, the Corinthians, the Man City game, I wouldn't make too many changes in this first one. I'd like to get into this one, get the job done in the first game, move on to Brighton next week, get that one done, and then look at making some changes in the return leg.
At the end of the day, they're still a Champions League team. Do you know what I mean? You've got to not go in there with too much disrespect, and you've got to face who you face, and you can only play against who you're playing, who's in front of you. Because I think if you go into that frame of mind thinking also Ravi, like, it's only Leuven. That's a clip for a podcast in the future, isn't it? It's only Leuven. So I think you've got to go there and just be professional, haven't you?
Yeah, you do. Like, it's all well and good trying to change 11 players, but like you need to have some level of consistency from team to team. And, we are in a pretty good position league-wise in that we've already played Man City home and away, Man United home and away, Chelsea home and away. Like the only relatively, well, on paper, relatively difficult game we've got left is Tottenham, who are challenging for those European spots. But like, even
did you just say the only hard team that we've got left is Tottenham?
No, I said the only relatively like challenging game that we should have left is that Tottenham game.
Oh, yeah, there's the important word, should
Yeah. Like, but we've played the other of the big teams. Like, we've played the other big 4 teams. So yeah, I just think we can rotate, and we can kind of use this, like, at least one of the Leuven games to rotate a bit more. Because, you know, we could go into the first leg, steamroll them 3-4-0 if, you know, that did happen. Then we could go into the second leg with almost a fully rotated team. But yeah, there are options across the season to rotate, and I would like to see a bit more rotation from team to team.
Yeah, I agree. And finally, Laura, your views on the game. Are you in agreement with everyone else? Also, I know James said maybe try and get it killed in the first game, but they might, if they play a low block, we sometimes struggle with that, don't we?
Yeah, as you say, we should never disrespect a team like that. It's very clear that they're in the Champions League for a reason, and obviously they've deserved the spot. And this time, I feel like Leuven may be a little bit more prepared for us, simply because they've played us before. They know what we're going to come with, and maybe in terms of using Smith through that middle, that might rattle them a little bit. That's the type of places I want to see that kind of being used against a team that has played us before, that know, right, okay, they're going to come out like that, or they're going to come out in a predictable way that they're never going to be prepared for it. I don't get me wrong, I'm confident that we'll get the win. Of course, I'm confident. I'm always confident when it comes to Arsenal. Whoever said that. But I do think, well, I agree with James there, what he says. Try and kill it in the first game, and then maybe rotate it a little bit by the time the second game comes.
Yeah, cool. We'll quickly go around and get your predictions. Mike, what do you think the score will be, and who's your first goal scorer?
I think it's going to be 3-0.
Yeah.
Mario's going to get us a goal first.
Nice, love that. Ravi?
I'm going to go commanding 4-0 win.
Yeah.
And I reckon Russo's bagging 2.
Nice. Proper striker. Not that Bunny Shaw only does one thing. Yeah, you stop her doing other stuff, what she does, and she don't have nothing else. Bunny Haaland, that's what she is. Paul?
I'm going to go for a solid 4-0, and I think Olivia Smith's going to carry on where she left off yesterday.
Tearing the Leuven apart. What am I going to go for? I don't want to disrespect him too much, but 5-0. Yeah, why not? I think it'll be 5-0. Job done. I'm going to go first goal scorer. I'm going to go Emily Fox. I'm going to go roll back the podcast years and years ago when Mel used to say on every show that Emily Fox would score. And then she finally scored, and that was the only game that Mel wasn't at. So, but yeah, we'll wrap it up there. Just want to say thank you to everyone in the chat. It's been really, really good. Just remember to hit that subscribe button and share, obviously, on the Arsenal Women Chat Show. I nearly said the wrong name then. That was embarrassing, wasn't it? And then the Mr. Arsenal podcast as well, and the Highbury Fans Forever. I just want to say thank you to my guest, Mike. Thank you for coming on, doing your first show. You was really, really good.
Cheers, guys. Been a pleasure.
Yeah, definitely. Great have you on. Paul, thank you as well. Hope you're got a good week up and coming as well.
Yeah, all good. Thank you.
Cool. Ravi, thank you as always, mate. Thank you for stepping in last week. Thanks for being here as well, even though you're in New Zealand. Joke.
George, you're going to get me nicked at this, right? Yeah, no, always good to be here, and yeah, no problem covering you.
Don't worry, he's just eating some New Zealand crisps. That's all he's doing, guys. Don't worry. Laura, thank you for being you as always and helping with everything. And just thank you for everything.
Yeah, you know I'm always here, buddy. But I will give my prediction since you missed me.
Oh, sorry, bloody hell.
Yeah, I'll go for a 5-1. I'll give them a
See, I
lot.
knew he was going to say that. So that's why I didn't ask.
Yeah. So there we go. But yes.
Because now you think I forgot you. Who's going to score the goals then, Laura?
Feed a man. All 5.
If that happens, we're going to have to all chip in and get Laura a free the top.
No, thank you. I'll burn that.
But yeah. So thank you. We will have a watch along on Wednesday. I'll actually be on the watch along, so I'm
I'll be
not
there
sure.
as well.
Okay, so yeah, you've got me and Laura, and it should be a good one. So remember, all keep safe, look after each other, keep smiling, take care, and we are the world champions. Come on, you Gunners.